have the client ID and client secret, and you create these in Google Cloud, right? So in the onboarding call that you have with the client, you jump on Google Cloud, you get them to, sign up for the Google Cloud if they haven't got it already, and then you go through that process of sending over access to the developer, just putting the email in. If I was to show quickly, let's go to Google Cloud, computer services. You jump on Google Cloud, you go on console, go on IAM admin, all right? Go on there, you go on IAM. Right, here we go. What you do, you press grant access. You go on here, you write down the email of the person you want to grant access to. I don't know, info@altage or whatever. Someone at hotmail.com. All right, and then you select their role. You write down editor. Right there, or you can also get it from here. I think I remember. Why is it not here? Basic. Okay, yeah, editor. And then save. And when you press save, they will get an email maybe after like 10 minutes or like 20 minutes. Sometimes it takes a bit of time. And then they get access to the platform or their Google Cloud just to set up the secret and ID. And you need to get that. And then when you do get that, you copy and paste it into the NA10, and that is when you jump into this. So when you go here, this needs to be done by the developer to put in these codes, to put in these credentials. But then this, where you actually press sign in and you do the OAuth, this is done by the client, right? So you do not say, hey, can you give me the login to this email? No, right? It's done by the client, and then the client is the one that does this and connects. So the issues are, right, is sometimes this expires, right? So this connection expires. So what you need to do is when you're on here and when you're doing your connection, you need to press publish, right? So if I go on there quickly, credentials, OAuth, send screen, and then audience. All right, so back to testing. So this is in production right now, but what you need to do is put it in production. That way you don't need to keep having to get the client to come back every month or so to reconnect. But that way you just get this over and done with. Now on that onboarding call, you get all of this done at once. So sheets, everything, right? And then you get them to come in and do the sign in, the OAuth, get past it, right? Sometimes, the access takes a bit of a long time to get through. So what I'll do in a client onboarding is do that first. And then while it takes that long time, I'll get the other logins and stuff like that. Another thing with login and handling like client Google access is that try to keep away from getting, you see when you're making different logins for all the different softwares that you're going to use, and the developer needs to log in to get access to things in the software that you're connecting, make them create a login without Google Auth, right? So they would connect with signing with Google. No, just go and create a username and password, right? So that way you don't have to ask for the user to go in and press sign in with Google every single time you try to connect with anything, right? So that's another thing that you need to do. The only time where you should use sign in with Google is if you're connecting to Google, right? So if you're directly connecting to Google and you haven't shared access, that is the only time you should get them and say, okay, I need you to sign in with Google. And that's why I said do that in onboarding and do this over here at the beginning stage and then get that out of the way.